It's Friday, August 4. In the headlines, Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show starts August 5. Temporary changes along Harborview to St. Thomas Roadway. In business news, Adtelligent and PBCJ launches LATAM Conference. Regionally, significant links forged between Barbados and Rwanda. Internationally, Donald Trump pleads not guilty at arraignment for 2020 election indictment. And in sports, West Indies prevail over India. And in entertainment news, a Jamaican anime making waves on social media and dancehall artist Spice concerned about her health. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Motorists who use the Harborview to Gala's leg of the Southern Coastal Highway are being advised that this weekend the authorities will be reducing a section of the road to a single lane. The announcement was made by Communication and Customer Services Manager at the National Works Agency, NWA, Stephen Shaw.
For 3 days from Saturday until the end of the day on Independence Day, the road is going to be reduced to single lane in the vicinity of Shooters Hill. Why? We have some embankment work to do on the seaside for about 400 meters. On the land side, we have a challenge with JPS poles that are to be relocated. Those will not be relocated until the end of the month based on the schedule that the JPS has given us. We have been working with the police and the contractors. You would have observed this morning there are police personnel in that very space out in Shooters Hill. We expect that will continue to assist us in ensuring that the 3 days that we are going to be using to create that widened section of road or to create that embankment will be used in a good way.
$22.1 billion was earmarked in this year's national budget to continue work on the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. The objective of the project is to improve the alignment and capacity of the existing Southern Coastal Main Arterial Road in order to make it safe and efficient, free from flooding and providing for future development. Dozens of Jamaicans are expected to attend this year's 69th staging of the Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show. The combined effect of the drought, which started last year and continued into this year, is expected to impact food and livestock production. But title sponsor Hypro is confident that this year's staging will be a success. Vice President of Hypro, retired Colonel Jamie Ogilvie, says it will be well worth making the journey to the Denby Showground in Mapen, Clarendon to see the best of Jamaica's agricultural output. The 3-day event will start on Saturday, August 5, and run until Monday, August 7, with gates opening at 8 a.m. each day. Tickets are $1,500 for adults and $600 for children. The Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show is staged by the Jamaica Agricultural Society in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. Come well hydrated, come prepared for the heat. Walk with your portable fan. Those words from Executive Director of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, Lenford Salmon, as he spoke to the press about preparations for the thousands of people expected to attend the annual Independence Grand Gala on August 6 at the National Stadium. He emphasized that there will be vendors selling water on site. Meanwhile, Mr. Salmon informed that the hot weather has also impacted rehearsals for the show. He explains that rehearsals, which are usually all-day events, start now at 2 p.m. and go up until 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Individuals who do not have tickets may choose to view the gala via a big screen that will be set up at the Independence Village next to the stadium. The show will also be live on television and streamed on social media platforms island-wide and globally. The government plans to revamp the Program of Advancement through Health and Education, PATH. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that changes will be made to the program to enable more families in need of support to be identified for benefits. He was addressing the quarterly press briefing held at the office of the Prime Minister on Thursday.
Yes, let's admit that an impact of inflation is to cause an increase in poverty. I mean, if people's consumption ability is reduced, particularly if they fall below the consumption threshold that would be absolutely poor, then clearly the impact of inflation would cause poverty to rise. So the government is sensitive to this, and the government will respond in a positive way to ensure that no Jamaican is left behind.
PATH is a social safety net program which provides conditional cash grants to vulnerable households within the population. It is administered through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Too often when I go out into constituencies or communities, I get the complaints that, I went to the PATH program and they came to my house and they say I don't qualify, but see my children don't have this and I don't have any income. There is clearly a refining that needs to happen in the entire beneficiary identification system for PATH. So that will be addressed to ensure that we are picking up those persons in our society who are genuinely in need of that social safety net support.
Mr. Holness says the move will ensure that more deserving families benefit from the program while improving access to education for beneficiary children. In the business report with Denby Rodney, we have news from the recently held LATAM Conference launch.
Welcome to the extended business report on PBCJ. I'm Denby Rodney. On Wednesday, August 2, 2023, the Public Sector Organization of Jamaica PBCJ, in partnership with digital marketing company Adtelligence Limited, launched the hybrid conference Keys to LATAM, Unlocking the Potential of the Latin American Market in Jamaica. CEO of Adtelligence, Craig Powell, started the launch by discussing the purpose of the conference.
The Keys to LATAM Conference is designed to provide Jamaican businesses with insights and strategies to enter and succeed in the Latin American market. We believe that the Latin American market offers immense untapped potential for Jamaican products and services.
In his opening remarks, Mr. Powell spoke about what businesses will gain by participating in the LATAM Conference.
By attending this conference, businesses will gain a deep understanding of the LATAM market and the tools to make informed decisions about exporting to this region.
He also added reasons why Adtelligence thought it was time for Jamaica to export to Latin America.
Latin America, with its diverse and expanding economies, presents an attractive market for Jamaican businesses. Now, the region has a growing middle-class population that is driving demand for a variety of products and services. Technological advancements that have made it easier and more affordable to access and operate in Latin markets, regulatory changes and free trade agreements have further opened up these markets, reducing barriers to entry.
Proven Group has registered a profit in its first quarter, which ended in June. The investment company made $3.55 million, up from the $2.19 million made for the same period last year. The multi-sectoral group of companies says the performance was driven by improved results from most segments, including better than budgeted results from its banking division. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Thursday, August 3, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.38. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $117.14. The pound sterling traded for $197.70, and the euro sold for $171.35. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by over 2,534 points. The junior market index advanced by over 24 points. The combined market index declined by over 2,140 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by over 4,924 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 109 stocks, of which 44 advanced, 56 declined, and 9 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and the Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference, Barita Investments Limited, and Blue Pearl Group Limited. Trading firm were Carreras Limited, Edufocal Limited, and Eppley Limited 7.75% preference shares. The overall volume leaders were Trans Jamaican Highway Limited 8% with over 100 million units, Dollar Financial Services Limited with over 2 million units, and the Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 2 million units. In regional stocks, on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, Calypso Macro Index Fund posted a volume of 782 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the sole security trading over 400,000 shares. In regional business, in Guyana, as the Ephraim Ali-led administration commemorates 3 years in office, Vice President Dr. Barat Jadeo on Thursday defended the government's initiatives put in place to help people cope with the rising cost of living.
I spoke of agriculture. I spoke of tourism. The same conversation can be had about non-oil extractives, bauxite, gold, manganese, and so many other sectors, all of which, sir, reflect increased private investment and are poised for rapid growth. Let me also say, sir, that it isn't rocket science that as one's asset base and earning capacity increases, one's capacity to contract and carry debt also increases. I would venture, sir, to suggest that there isn't a single household in the whole of Guyana that does not understand this very fundamental concept.
What is this ambitious program that you're talking about? If you intend to increase the debt ceilings, both local and external, then you have an intention to borrow for various projects. And our question to you is to tell us what are those projects. That is what we would like to know.
In international business, the Bank of England raised its key interest rate by 1/4 percentage point to a 15-year peak of 5.25% and gave a new warning that borrowing costs were likely to stay high for some time.
In contrast to the US Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, which also raised rates last week, it did not suggest hikes were about to end as it battles high inflation.
High inflation hurts the least well off the most.
This was the bank's governor, Andrew Bailey.
We expect inflation to take a further step down in the July data, which will be published in 2 weeks' time. We think that will come down to around 7% at that point, followed by another larger step down in October's data, which will be published in November, to around about 5% on that basis.
The Bank of England forecast inflation would fall to 4.9% by the end of this year, a faster decline than it had predicted in May. That would be a relief for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who pledged in January to halve inflation this year, a goal which had looked challenging. Bailey said it was too soon to speculate about whether rates had peaked and when they might be cut again. Sterling briefly dipped after the data, and financial markets moved to price in a roughly 2/3 chance of another 1/4-point interest rate rise to 5.5% in September.
In market data for oil prices were on track for a 6th week of gains after Saudi Arabia and Russia, the world's second and third largest crude producers, pledged to cut output through September. Brent crude futures edged 34 cents higher to $85.48 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude crept up 31 cents to $81.86. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney. Back to you, Simone.
In regional news, in Barbados, significant trade, investment and tourism opportunities are expected to flow from a forum held yesterday involving local businessmen and their counterparts from Rwanda. This latest step to deepen ties between the nations was officially called the inaugural Rwanda to Barbados Business Mission.
Today's forum marks a pivotal moment as we pave the way for a new chapter of cooperation where mutual benefits will shape our shared future. During this forum, we will be engaging in insightful discussions, exploring avenues for strategic partnerships, and evaluating investment, trade, and tourism opportunities that are ideally positioned to take off, no pun intended, Yvonne, give high returns and growth. Our commitment is not solely to facilitate bilateral trade, tourism, and business, but importantly to foster long-lasting relationships that will endeavor beyond borders.
Maybe in the near future, who knows, we will be having direct flights. Let's work on getting closer and closer. And how do we do that? We do that through collaboration. We do that, of course, through MOUs. We have to sign them, but this is just the beginning. After signing MOUs, we have to leverage double taxation agreements that we have. We have to work on a bilateral investment treaty, but then we have to become brothers and sisters by doing business.
The Guyanese government is currently seeking over $60 billion in supplementary funding. The supplementary estimates were presented by the country's finance minister on Thursday. More from Newsroom Guyana.
I rise, sir, to present to the National Assembly Financial Paper number 3 of 2023, supplementary estimates current and capital totaling $61,013,184,705 for the period ended 31st December 2023.
That was Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh speaking during a sitting of the National Assembly on Thursday. This additional $61 billion being sought, if approved, will add to the $781.9 billion in the 2023 national budget and the $31 billion in supplementary funding approved last month for direct disbursement to Ghana's indigenous communities and for climate adaptation measures. Based on the details of the financial paper, a majority of the supplementary funding, or about $33.3 billion, being sought on behalf of the Ministry of Public Works for several capital projects. This includes provisions for the construction of the Wismar Bridge, which is pegged at about $2.1 billion, the construction and rehabilitation of hinterland, community and urban roads, fortifying the sea and river defence network, and the development of wharves and stellings. Additional funding of about $5.6 billion being sought on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture to facilitate, among other things, urgent drainage and irrigation works in regions 2, 3, 4, 5 and 10. Some of that allocation will also be used to help facilitate the rehabilitation of temporary abandoned lands at the Albion, Blairmont, Rose Hall and Iflot Sugar Estates. The Office of the Prime Minister is also seeking $5 billion to provide additional resources to support power generation and data management activities. Reporting for the newsroom, Vishani Raghavir.
23 Trinidad and Tobago nationals will be starting new journeys in Japan through the JET program. Since its inception in 1987, the one-year program has given the opportunity for thousands of young persons to live and work in Japan. Ayana Carter has more.
On Friday, 23 young Trinidad and Tobago nationals will bid sayonara to this country and konnichiwa to Japan. This through the auspicious Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, or JET. The Cycle 2023 cohort gathered at the Japanese ambassador's residence in St. Clair ahead of their departure in an official send-off reception. Japan's ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Yutaka Matsubara, noted that the group will join other JETs from around the world where they will work as assistant language teachers in schools spread across 47 prefectures.
I sincerely hope that you all go out and explore Japan and learn aspects of Japanese culture. I'm certain that you will learn valuable life lessons from those you interact with during your time, and I hope upon returning to your home country, you will be able to utilize your experiences to develop yourself and your community.
During an emotional speech, 2023 JET participant Tisha Alexander expressed the group's collective excitement and honor at being given the opportunity to represent Trinidad and Tobago and pledged to make this country proud.
A strong support system will provide the emotional backing to navigate the inevitable challenges and help us bounce back from the setbacks, ready to face life's challenges with greater strength and determination. We should not let these hiccups define our experiences or keep us down. May we embrace the challenges before us with open minds, because it is in overcoming such challenges that's going to make our lives meaningful.
In 2024, the JET program in this country will be celebrating 20 years of collaboration, at the same time of the two countries celebrating 60 years of diplomatic ties. More than 77,000 people from 78 countries have participated in the JET program to date. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
In international news, former U.S. President Donald Trump pled not guilty on Thursday at an arraignment for the 2022 election indictment. More from Al Jazeera.
Donald Trump wants to return to Washington as president, but he couldn't get out of town fast enough after his most recent court appearance, claiming the charges against him were about blocking his route back to the Oval Office.
When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
In a 27-minute federal court appearance, he pled not guilty to 4 charges. Supporters gathered outside the courthouse, far fewer than predicted, far fewer than the Trump camp expected.
Trump's going to march on. He's probably going to get more popular. Just this scene alone will make him more popular right here.
The former president faces 4 charges, 3 of conspiracy to undermine the results of the 2020 election, 1 of obstruction. His claims of voter fraud and irregularities led his supporters to storm the Capitol, trying to stop the peaceful transfer of power. His defense, America's First Amendment, the right of free speech.
He's already been saying he's going to talk about the First Amendment, that he had a right to say whatever he wants. And while it's true you do have the right to say whatever you want, he went many steps beyond saying whatever he wanted. It's the actions that he took. It's the extra effort that he went to.
3 criminal indictments, 2 congressional impeachments, and a former president who's seen no real damage done to his reputation among Republicans. He still remains the party's favourite to win the presidential nomination. And that might not change, even if he's got to spend weeks off the campaign trail defending himself in federal court. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.
In sports, the West Indies men pulled off a nail-biting win to begin the 5-match T20 series against India with an emphatic 4-run win over India.
Well, the first T20 international between the West Indies and India at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy ended with a victory for the West Indies by 4 runs. The Windies, they batted first and got to 149 for the loss of 6, with a top score of 48 coming in from captain Rovman Powell. Nicholas Pooran chipped in with 41, as well as Brandon King at the top of the innings. He got to 28. In the bowling department, well, Arshdeep Singh, he got 2 wickets for 31 runs, and Yuvendra Chahal also picked up 2 wickets for 24 runs. Well, at the halfway stage, we spoke to one member of the fan base here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy who was at this venue for the very first time, and this is what he had to say.
All in all, I am pleasantly surprised, and I must say the West Indian and the Trinidadian crowd and the atmosphere for cricket never disappoints. But I'm really impressed by the facilities that was created here for Brian Lara Cricket Academy. I mean, it has been a long time coming. I mean, this started many moons ago when I just left actually Trinidad, and to be back here now watching a game of cricket in its completed form, it's really, really nice.
India had to chase 150 for victory against the West Indies, and unfortunately they fell to 145 for the loss of 9 wickets. Tilak Varma got to 39, Hardik Pandya, their captain, got to 19, and Sanju Samson got 12, while Aksa Patel got to 13. The bowling department for the West Indies was led by Jason Holder, who picked up 2 wickets for 19 runs. Romario Shepherd also had 2 wickets for 33, and Akhil Hussain was quite economical. He bagged 1 wicket for 17 runs. Congratulations to the West Indies, winning the first T20 International by 4 runs.
Time now for news on the entertainment scene with Alicia Steele.
Hey there! Welcome back to PBCJ's E-News, your ultimate source of fun updates. It's your host, Alicia, here to make your day even more entertaining. So, guess what? We've got some exciting scoop for you this week. Brace yourself. First up, we've got the unfortunate news about dancehall queen Carlene's sister, Pinky, passing away. Sending our thoughts and love to the family. On a brighter note, Alkaline's New Rules Festival is making a triumphant return to New York. Get ready to groove. Oh, but hold on. Spice Ernia is back and bigger. Let's hope she gets better soon. And last but not least, a mind-blowing Jamaican anime has hit the internet and is going viral. Get ready for some serious binge watching. I can't wait. Can you wait? So sit tight and stick with us as we bring you all the juicy updates. Let's get this party started. Dancehall queen Carlene Smith, also known as DHQ Carlene, is grieving the loss of her sister, Doreen Prendergast, who passed from stage 4 breast cancer. Carlene shared the news on Instagram, expressing her sadness and revealing the difficulties that they faced throughout her sister's illness. They tried organic treatments when modern medicine failed, and Carlene held a fundraiser to cover the cost. Despite their efforts, Pinky, as Carlene affectionately called her, lost her battle with cancer. Pinky had made her funeral wishes known to Carlene, and a night will be in her honor. Rest easy, Pinky, from the PBCJ's E-News team. Dancehall star Alkaline and New Era Productions have announced that the New Rules Festival will return to New York on September 3rd. The festival, which has seen success in previous years, will feature performances from artists such as Charlie Black, LeBianca, Skinny Fabulous. Emerging acts will also be taking the stage. The event will happen at the Mount Vernon Memorial Stadium and gates will open at noon. The festival is weapons free and attendees must be at least 16 years old to enter. Dancehall artist Spice revealed on an episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta that she has another hernia, which she believes was caused by a previous surgery. She expressed concern about her health and believed she may not live long. Her castmates tried to reassure her. During the episode, Spice's daughter called her with an eye issue, causing Spice to become distressed. She abruptly ended the meeting and made plans to fly to Jamaica. The scene concluded with Spice crying and expressing frustration. Spice and her children have since arrived in Belize for an international music festival performance. Back in March, Spice shared details of a near-death experience she had in the Dominican Republic due to complications from previous cosmetic surgeries. Fans and well-wishers have urged Spice to take a break from her busy schedule and focus on her health. A trailer for a unique Jamaican anime project called Jamaican No Duppy, Rise of the Conqueror, has created a wave of excitement on social media. The project, created by filmmaker Tolga Akeli, showcases vibrant animations and a captivating storyline that combines Jamaican culture and folklore with anime aesthetics. However, funding is needed to complete the entire production of the anime. Akele has set up a GoFundMe page to raise US $120,000, with merchandise sales contributing towards the production cost. The trailer has gained widespread attention and praises, with fans and cultural enthusiasts eager to see the project come to fruition.
Thanks, Alicia. And that's the news on PBCJ. Have a great holiday weekend.